this morning. So let me bring this topic up because I wanted to get into a little more detail about it. Now, the Democrats exist in Southwest Florida. They exist in Collier County. And it's interesting how Democrats in Collier County express themselves as a party when it comes to the local politics of the day. For example, the collierdems.org, they have this thing called the Democratic Dispatch. It's a newsletter from the Collier County Democrat Party. And interestingly enough, the language that they use seems lefty and typical. For example, the August newsletter opens up like this. The August 20th primary is upon us. Christian nationalism has taken hold in Collier County. I don't have to go any further, do I? I mean, so we're starting with that. There's Christian nationalism that's going on in Collier County, and we have to stop it. Okay, got it. Back in July, there was another newsletter that caught my attention. That talked about the primary being 50 days away. It's going to be consequential for the public school kids here in Collier County. School board candidates Pam Cunningham and Tom Henning had openly expressed intentions to replace existing progressive values. They exist, according to the Democrats. They're there right now with their Christian ideologies. And here we go with the Christian stuff again. And advocate for policies and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Children based on their identities deny their existence. Okay. And then the Democrats have choices for the sake of the kids. These are the people we must re-elect the incumbents. And there's more to this. Okay, so Doug Lewis is a friend. He is a concerned citizen. He's also a member of the Collier County Republican Executive Committee. And he's joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News to break some of this down because he knows about this. He has seen this and some other things that are going on. And I have questions. And he's good at answering questions. So that's why he's here. Hey, Doug.
Hey, good morning, Drew.
Good morning.
Great to be with you.
Yeah, good to have you on. All right, so this, as the word of the day seems to be, this is weird. I guess at first blush, Doug, you're thinking Democrats have choice in this, and it's not a Democrat. They're choosing which Republican they want based on progressive values. I guess that speaks a lot. Maybe give me an overview of when you saw this and what you thought.
Yeah, I think there's a couple points you make. The first point is, why I think the obvious point is, why are the Democrats not running Democrat candidates in the school board race? In fact, if you look at this primary, our Republican sheriff, our Collier County courts, our tax collector all ran unopposed. They're all Republicans. Not a single Democrat, in fact, is running for any partisan local race in Collier County. So, voters need to ask, why doesn't the Democrat Party run their candidates in these races?
Right. Well, Doug, the obvious answer right away is going to be, well, Doug, you and I know you can't win if you're a Democrat. I mean, why are we even bothering? There's no way.
Right.
The numbers, don't work.
There's truth to that. Yeah, there's truth to that. In fact, the last time a Democrat was elected in Collier County was in 1984. Aubrey Rogers was elected sheriff, and Sam Colding was elected the property manager. So, yeah, there's truth to that. So I think what we're seeing is that they're working to exploit the fact that Republican turnout is lower in the primary versus the general. That's a well-known fact. We sometimes get complacent here.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And so the lower turnout can be exploited by Democrats working with uniparty rhinos here locally. And by the way, they're here. But they do it two ways. The first is that in nonpartisan races like school board, Democrats vote with local, uniparty rhinos to get progressive, liberal, leftist Democrats who run as a Republican elected. And then second, we're starting to see more of this, but we're seeing Democrats who are switching party affiliation in the primary in order to vote with the uniparty rhinos to overwhelm the MAGA Republicans. So, they have to switch tactics. It's all art based on the art of deception and sophistry, which kind of ties into the second point you made, which is going back to this, these comments about Christian ideologies. And I think it's very sad that we see, the Democrat Party moving further to the left and towards the socialist communist ideologies. It's no longer the party of JFK. It's a very different. So, communists, they view, Judeo-Christian beliefs like faith, hope, charity, right, as dangerous ideas to a system that relies on fear and envy. And I think that's the pith of what's happening here. Mm-hmm. And they do a great job of fomenting both fear and envy. And I get it, they're trying to work up their base, but the Establishment Clause protects against government establishing a state religion. So that's not the issue. The real issue that we need to look at here locally is the damage that leftist progressive policies are doing to us, not just nationally, but here locally. So, for example, we saw local businesses and churches that were shut down during COVID. We saw local school kids that were being forced to mask by two of the current incumbents running for office. We saw authoritarian vaccine mandates here in Collier County. We've seen transgender drag shows in local public parks where kids play, sexualizing our kids. I can go on.
Right.
But the progressive agenda is the danger. And it's not the honest, hardworking Judeo-Christian elected officials. So, look, Republicans know that our principles of liberty and limited government, they bless everybody. And that's Republican and Democrat alike. And I just want to give a quick example. We elected MAGA Republicans to our county commissioner in 2022, and we had $63 million that stayed in the pockets of taxpayers. It was a massive and historic win for Collier County taxpayers. And in fact, I watched it, except for Bert Saunders, who voted against it, back in September of last year when they adopted that rollback millage rate. The county staff was visibly in shock and disbelief that these elected officials dared to actually not take money from hardworking residents. So these policies work. We know that our principles work, but we got to get out and we got to vote because they're going to exploit us. They're going to divide us and exploit us.
Right. There's no doubt that you can't sit back and feel like everything's going to handle itself because the things we talk about. Like there's so many more Republicans and Democrats in Southwest Florida. Don't worry, the numbers work for us. It's okay. And then you sit back and next thing you know, you wake up the next day and you have somebody you wouldn't have voted for or don't want in office because in the primary, let's just say you did sit back, you didn't go out, and Democrats are banking on that. When you
correct.
see...
Yeah, and they're not... Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and so let me just say this, Doug. When I see this letter from the chair of the Democrat Party and the Democrat Dispatch and saying, look, we've got to keep the existing progressive values we have there with the two incumbents that are there on the school board as opposed to the Christian ideologies and advocating for marginalizing kids and all these other things and the language that the left use. And then they say, in the meantime, don't forget to donate to these people and to help and make phone calls on their behalf. I mean, they're working the phones. They're doing what they have to make sure this is how much they want these individuals in office. In this case, I guess you can tell us who these people are. And then and are there others? And is that indicative of what people are asking, which is if the Democrats want them and the party is pushing for them, then by default you have to believe. I mean, how else are you supposed to look at this? Look, as an observer on the outside looking in, as an observer of everyone who's listening right now to the sound of my voice, if the Democrat Party is saying we want progressive values, we don't want Christian nationalism or ideologies, and we marginalizing kids and everything else, then by default you have to say that the people that they're pushing for are people that believe in, or at least are not going out and saying, I do not agree with this. I don't want to be endorsed by the Democrat Party at all because what they're saying, I haven't heard that yet. So by default you would have to believe that these are people that do believe in progressive values and are hiding behind an R after their name. That's the concern that people have talked to me about. Are there others? Are there other people that are being supported by the Democrat Party? And who are these people? And what do you think about what is being espoused?
Yeah, I mean, that's